What if Qui Gon trained Anakin Skywalker? Let's explore the depths of it in the video. The green blade clashes against red. Sparks fly. Maul twists, aiming a killing stroke toward Qui-Gon's chest, but the Jedi pivots just in time, parries, then slams his hilt into Maul's chin. Maul staggers. Qui-Gon surges forward, driving his blade through Maul's midsection. The Sith's eyes widen in shock. His saber flickers and dies. A low growl escapes his lips as his lifeless form tumbles into the reactor shaft. Silence falls. Obi-Wan leaps through the last energy barrier as it shuts down. His eyes sweep over the scene.
Master?
I'm all right. The assassin is dead.
You did it?
The Sith have returned, Obi-Wan. This is only the beginning.
Anakin Skywalker, small in stature yet already possessive of a presence beyond his years, stands near the center. His eyes darted nervously. He wasn't alone. Qui-Gon stands beside him, proud but respectful.
The boy is strong in the Force. That is not in question.
But the future, clouded, it remains. Fear in him I sense still. A wound, not yet healed.
With respect, Master, the Sith's return changes everything. You saw what Maul was capable of. He was trained, deadly, filled with hatred. The boy is the chosen one. We cannot afford to bind ourselves in tradition when the very Force is shifting beneath us.
So sure of the prophecy, are you?
I don't claim certainty, only faith. He is not ready now, but under my guidance, he will be. He needs compassion, not fear. Understanding, not rejection. You defied our decision once already. What makes you think we will simply change it?
Because he's right. I was against this too, but I faced Maul. I saw what Qui-Gon saw. The Sith are back, and if Anakin is the key, we can't ignore that anymore. Agree, the Council does. Trained the boy will be. But on your hand, this decision lies, Qui-Gon Jinn.
Thank you, Master.
Master, does this mean I can be a Jedi?
Yes, Anakin. From this day forward, your journey begins.
Anakin exhales, his face alight. He doesn't understand the weight of the room, the distrust, the unease. All he saw was his future opening. Obi-Wan stands alone beneath a tall arched window, watching the speeder lights stream through the city below.
You did well in there.
I think we're still making a mistake, Master.
Then we'll make it together. He's not the same as you were, but he doesn't need to be.
You could have died.
I didn't.
You should have waited for me.
Perhaps. But had I fallen, you were ready.
Then it's settled. The Council has agreed. What happens now?
Now, we show him what it truly means to be a Jedi.
Later that day, Obi-Wan kneels before the Council, clad in ceremonial robes. Yoda steps forward, holding Obi-Wan's braid in one hand. His voice, though small, rang with solemnity.
By the right of the Council, by the will of the Force, rise, Jedi Knight. Much to learn, you still have. But ready, you are.
Qui-Gon stands at the edge, watching with a calm pride. Anakin is beside him, smiling. The moment is quiet, ceremonial. But beneath it all, beneath the pride and the formality, is the unspoken truth. The galaxy has shifted. The Sith has revealed himself. A chosen one has begun his journey, and the Jedi will never be the same again. The Jedi Temple is quiet in the early morning. Sunlight spills in soft beams through the high windows, casting long shadows across the polished stone floor. Anakin sits cross-legged in a meditation chamber, eyes closed, brows furrowed in frustration. Qui-Gon stands behind him, arms folded, calm as ever.
You're trying too hard again.
I have to get it right. Master Yoda says I let my mind wander.
Master Yoda isn't wrong, but the Force isn't something you force into place. You listen to it. You feel it.
But when I try to feel it, I just think about my mom.
Then those are the thoughts you start with. The Force flows through your emotions, Anakin, not around them.
But Obi-Wan always says Jedi aren't supposed to have attachments.
There's a difference between attachment and compassion. Attachment is possession, fear of losing. Compassion is love without control. You miss your mother because you love her. That's not weakness. It's honesty.
I don't want to let anyone down, Master.
Then start by not denying who you are. That's how you learn balance.
They sit in silence for a while, breathing in rhythm. Slowly, Anakin lets his eyes drift shut again. This time, his face is calm. The next day brings a different kind of lesson. They stand in the temple gardens, surrounded by chirping avians and rustling leaves. A small creature limps near a bush, its leg clearly broken. Anakin instinctively moves towards it.
I can help it.
Not with your hands, with your presence. Reach out.
Anakin blinks, then kneels slowly, stretching out his palm but not touching the creature. He closes his eyes. Qui Gon watches, speaking softly.
Feel its pain. Let it flow through you. Don't shield from it. Don't fight it. The living force surrounds us both. You, me, and it.
Anakin's brow furrows in concentration. A soft hum in the air, the faint shimmer of life shifting. The creature stirs, then its breathing slows. It blinks, nudges Anakin's hand, and limps away, steadier than before. Anakin looks up, astonished.
I didn't use any power.
No, but you gave it peace. That's all the Force asks of us sometimes.
Their training moves beyond the temple over the weeks. Qui-Gon believes in learning through experience, not isolation. 7 years later. When the Jedi are called to oversee tense negotiations on an Axis, Qui-Gon brings Anakin along. Amid the formalities, Anakin crosses paths with Padme Amidala, now a poised senator, but the spark between them is unchanged. Their time together rekindles feelings neither has spoken aloud in years, and under the quiet stars of an Axis, a bond deepens. Qui-Gon notices but chooses not to interfere, offering guidance only when asked. Though he warns Anakin about fear and attachment, the seed of something deeper has already taken root. 3 more years pass. Time passes, and the bond between master and apprentice deepens. Training duels, meditation, diplomatic travel, they share all of it. And with every step, Qui-Gon teaches through example, patience, empathy, listening not only to the living force, but to people. In a remote village on Raxus Prime, they mediate a conflict between 2 feuding tribes. Anakin watches the pain and anger spill out between elders, leans towards Qui-Gon as the talks grow heated.
Why don't we just use the Force to stop them from fighting? Because the goal is not obedience, it's understanding. They must want peace, not have it imposed on them. Let them see you, listen, and they may listen back.
When it ends, both sides embrace. Anakin feels something he hasn't before. Pride, but not in conquest, in harmony. That night he sits beneath the stars with Qui-Gon again.
I think I'm starting to get it, Master. The Force? No. People. Then your training truly is beginning.
It is clear now. He is not walking the same path Obi-Wan once had. He is being shaped, not by rules, but by compassion. Not by doctrine, but by trust. And somewhere in that shifting current of the Force, the future trembles, changed. The war drums of politics beat louder in the Republic, even as peace lingers on a thread. Senators whisper of secession. Jedi whispers speak of shadows in the Force. But for now, Coruscant still glitters under the sun, indifferent to what stirs beneath it. Padme Amidala stands before a holotable in the Naboo Embassy's upper chamber, her arms crossed, listening with an edge of disbelief.
Gunships? Threats of assassination. I came here for diplomacy, not war.
We received a coded warning from an informant inside the Techno Union. They believe the Separatists are testing the Republic, and you're the target, Senator.
If they wanted to send a message, there are less dramatic ways.
They want chaos. And killing a peace delegate from Naboo during the trade negotiations, that's chaos.
Before Padme could respond, the door slid open with a quiet hiss. Qui-Gon stepped inside, calm as ever, flanked by his apprentice.
Then let's make sure that message goes undelivered.
Padme turns, eyes flickering from the old master to the young one. Anakin stands tall now, his face no longer boyish, but sharp, serious, the saber hanging from his belt. But it was his eyes that carried more weight.
Senator Padme.
Anakin, you're here on assignment?
We were dispatched an hour ago. Council-approved emergency protection. Coruscant Security believes the Separatists have planted agents nearby.
I don't need Jedi babysitters, Master Jin.
Maybe not, but we're not here to babysit. I'm here to watch your back.
She raises an eyebrow at his confidence, but doesn't protest. Downstairs, a storm begins to brew. It starts with a false alarm, a flicker in the power grid, a phantom heat signature near the cargo hangar, then a single explosion near the landing platform. Fire alarms blare. Blaster fire rings out in the corridor. The embassy security scrambles. 2 Naboo guards fall, stunned and dragged away. Smoke floods the main hall. Then comes the voice, digitally scrambled, broadcast from the public announcement system.
The Senator will surrender, or we begin execution. You have 3 minutes.
In the control room, Qui Gon and Anakin stand with Captain Typho, eyes fixed on the flickering hollows.
They took 5 of my men, locked in the south wing. They're using them as leverage. Let me go in. Not alone. I know this building better than they do. I was here all the time as a kid. There's a maintenance tunnel through the storage shaft. Leads right behind the south corridor. Are you sure you remember? Trust me, then go. I'll buy you time.
Anakin slips out, saber ready but unlit, moving like breath through the corridors. Smoke curls around him. He can feel their fear. Padme's guards, trapped behind the security door, hearts pounding in a rhythm the Force carries like a drumbeat. Anakin crouches near the vent shaft, unclips the panel, and slides in. He moves like Qui-Gon had taught him, not as a warrior, but as a ripple in the still water. The vent opens into a maintenance room. He peers through the grating. 5 hostages, 2 battle droids, 1 human in separatist gear with a detonator strapped to his wrist. Anakin whispers under his breath.
Okay, 1 chance.
With a swift motion, he drops down, igniting his saber in 1 clean arc. Green light flashing through the smoke. The first droid falls in half. The second fires. Anakin deflects, turns, kicks the human into the wall with controlled force. The detonator clatters to the floor.
What the? Stay down.
The wall behind him explodes. More droids. 4. No time. Anakin moves like lightning, deflecting bolts into the ceiling, sweeping low to disable the nearest droid, then flipping over the last with a spin Qui-Gon would have called too flashy. The last enemy drops. He turns to the hostage, breath steady.
You're safe now.
Meanwhile, in the embassy's command floor, Padme stands at the window, watching the smoke rise from below. Her fingers are tight around the edge of the frame. Qui-Gon stands at her side.
He's down there?
Yes.
You trust him that much?
No, I trust the Force that much.
Have you ever considered the Force is wrong?
The living Force makes no mistakes, Senator.
Minutes later, Anakin bursts through the north corridor, singed but alive, leading the rescued hostages. Typho meets him with stunned relief.
See? The Force can never be wrong. That was insane. Not insane. Just familiar.
He looks to Padme, who steps toward him, eyes wide. Without hesitation, she pulled him into a tight embrace. He froze at first, startled, then returned it, briefly.
Thank you, Anakin.
I told you I'd watch your back. And you disobeyed your training. Again. I did what had to be done, and you did it well. But remember, intuition without discipline is chaos. Then I guess I'm halfway to being a Jedi.
The crisis is over, but the message had been sent. Padme brings her findings to the Senate the next day. Evidence the Separatists have coordinated the attack with off-world support. The Council begins immediate investigation. Within weeks, more systems declare their intent to secede. By month's end, the first full-scale battle between Republic forces and Separatist droids erupts on Geonosis, and the Clone Wars begin. Anakin stands with Qui-Gon on the temple balcony as the first transports deploy.
Do you think we're ready? The galaxy isn't. But you've taken your first steps into what it truly means to protect, not just with strength, but with purpose. I still feel it. That pull toward her, toward everything. All of it. The Force doesn't demand that you ignore your feelings, only that you don't let them control you. I hope that's enough. It will be, as long as you remember who you are.
The Senate Rotunda glitters under Coruscant's afternoon light. The news of the hostage crisis on Tortuga Prime has spread fast. Anakin Skywalker has led a swift extraction of Senator Padme Amidala during an attempted Separatist ambush. Anakin stands to the side of the chamber now. His robes dusty, his tunic streaked with carbon scarring, but he holds himself with quiet steadiness. Padme, beside him, wears a bruised expression, not one from injury, but from the weight of the political reality. Behind them, Chancellor Palpatine steps forward, his voice carrying with practiced warmth.
The Jedi have served the Republic with honor, but today we must recognize a singular act of bravery. Knight Skywalker risked his life without hesitation. Not just for a senator, but for peace.
Polite applause follow. Padme looks down, avoiding Anakin's eyes. He barely notices. He was staring at the Chancellor. After the session ends, as the rotunda empties into clusters of senators and aides, Palpatine approaches with a diplomatic smile.
You've grown stronger than I imagined, Anakin. Truly exceptional.
Thank you, Chancellor.
Please, just Palpatine. I've known Padme for many years. She speaks highly of you. Now I see why. You've shown instinct today. Not just courage, but clarity. That's something the Jedi rarely recognize. Intuition, passion, and yet you acted with restraint. Remarkable.
I did what Master Qui Gon taught me.
Ah, yes, Master Jin. A rare Jedi. One of the few who sees beyond their council's narrow sight.
Master Qui Gon always says to trust the living force, to be present, to feel what others feel.
Wise advice, but the galaxy, I fear, is not always so harmonious. War tests such ideals, my boy. Still, the Jedi serve, and they serve well. But one day, Anakin, you may find that you serve the galaxy better by listening to yourself.
I serve the people. That's what we're trained to do.
Palpatine smiles again, but says nothing. Just rests a hand on Anakin's shoulder briefly, then turns away. From across the hall, Qui-Gon watches it all, silent, unreadable. Later that night, Qui-Gon gently warns Anakin to stay mindful of the Chancellor, urging him to question the man's intentions and remain grounded in the Force. But Anakin, gazing out over Coruscant's endless skyline, barely acknowledges the caution. His thoughts are elsewhere, still clinging to the Chancellor's praise, still stirred by Padme's presence. Qui-Gon's words land softly, but without weight. The bond between master and apprentice holds, but its threads are quietly fraying. Elsewhere in the galaxy, the separatist movement begins to take shape in earnest. Systems fall from the Republic, trade routes are seized, and old allies grow distant. In one of the darker chambers of the Jedi archives, lit only by the low hum of ancient holocrons, Qui-Gon stands in silence. The image of a familiar man flickers before him. Count Dooku, former Jedi Master, his former master. Obi-Wan's voice echoes in the room, recorded from a recent HoloNet report.
It's real, Masters. Dooku is alive and leading the Separatists. He's not hiding anymore.
Qui-Gon stares at the figure long after the recording ends. Their paths finally cross on Sereno. The Republic has sent Qui-Gon and Anakin to broker a ceasefire, secretly to offer a path to diplomacy, but Dooku has other plans. In the moonlit courtyard of his ancestral palace, Dooku waits in flowing robes, his presence regal, his stance defensive but calm. Qui-Gon steps forward alone, cloak brushing the ancient stone. Anakin remains back, concealed.
So, the Council finally sends my old Padawan. How poetic. I came because they wouldn't. You knew they wouldn't. Then you still think I can be saved? I don't believe in lost causes, only lost choices. You trained the boy, Skywalker. He's not what the Council feared. He's compassionate, grounded. For now. But the corruption runs deep, Qui-Gon. The Senate is a carcass, and the Jedi Council feeds on what's left. You speak of rot, but you ally with murderers, tyrants. And what would you have me do? Bow to hypocrites? They preach balance while they ignore the decay right beneath their feet. You could have stayed, fought from within, helped the next generation do better. I did, for years, and they silenced me. Now I fight to break the wheel entirely. Then you've traded truth for power, and I'm afraid you'll fall into the same darkness as those you claim to oppose. The boy is powerful, more than you know. And there are others watching him. Others far beyond the Council's blind sight. What do you mean? The time will come when you'll understand, my old apprentice. And I hope, for his sake, that it's not too late.
He turns and vanishes into the shadows of the palace. Anakin steps out from hiding.
He's afraid, but not of us. No, of what's coming.
The return to Coruscant is tense. Qui-Gon keeps mostly silent. He spends hours meditating, then days combing through Senate records, intelligence reports, even intercepted communications. What Dooku said gnaws at him, not just because it hints at something larger, but because it aligns with something he's felt for weeks. At last, he goes to the Jedi Council. Mace Windu listens, arms folded.
You think Dooku was telling the truth? I think he believes it, and I think there's more happening in the Senate than we understand.
Disturbing this is, but proof we must find, not suspicion alone.
Then let me find it, Master.
Mace glances at Yoda. The two masters exchange a silent look, reluctant, but they nod. As the days pass, Anakin continues his missions, but the Chancellor calls for him more often now. Small matters, brief discussions, flattery that grows incrementally sharper.
The Jedi grow uncertain. Many in the Senate say they've lost their clarity.
I think they're doing what they can. There's a war coming.
And when it comes, Anakin, the galaxy will not look to philosophers for salvation. It will look to warriors, leaders, those who act.
Anakin remains quiet, but the words take root. Later that night, Anakin tells Qui Gon of the meeting. Qui Gon listens carefully, then rests a hand on Anakin's shoulder.
You must be vigilant. He sees something in you. But I see something too. Not ambition, not power, but hope. You still think he's dangerous? I think he's more clever and cunning than we realize.
Anakin looks at him long, then nods. But even in that silence, something in the Force shifts, as if the currents are beginning to churn, drawing all paths towards an unseen storm. And far across the city, in the Chancellor's private chambers, Darth Sidious removes his cloak and stares out across the lights of Coruscant. His fingers curl slowly.
Patience. They will all come to me in time.
The game has begun, and the lines are being drawn. Anakin's campaign on Karita begins with promise. Qui-Gon guides him calmly, urging restraint and compassion, even in war. At first, Anakin listens, saving lives, leading with presence, and earning the clones' respect through mercy. But as the battle drags across Nal Hutta and Ryloth, Anakin grows impatient. He begins acting without counsel, striking quickly where diplomacy would take time. Qui-Gon doesn't reprimand. He speaks gently, reminding Anakin.
The Force flows where peace is chosen, not forced.
Anakin nods, but the doubt lingers. War is speeding up, and he fears he's falling behind. Anakin has seen the dream before, his mother in pain, crying out for him. But now, under the pale light of a twin moon, it returns stronger. He wakes in a cold sweat, haunted by her fading breath. At dawn, he finds Qui-Gon waiting quietly after the morning briefing. Anakin tells him everything. Qui-Gon listens, calm and steady, then speaks gently, reminding him that the Force offers visions, not commands, and that true choice lies in motive. Fear or love. Anakin doesn't hesitate this time. He chooses to go. Qui-Gon nods once and lets him. Tatooine's twin sons haven't changed, but everything else has. He goes to his mother's place. Padme is with him. She can't leave him. She insists, and Anakin agrees.
Those Tuscans walk like men, but they're vicious, mindless monsters. 30 of us went out after her. 4 of us came back. I don't want to give up on her, but she's been gone a month. There's little hope she's lasted this long.
Where are you going? To find my mother.
Anakin finds her in a Tusken camp, bruised and broken, barely clinging to life. He holds her as she takes her last breath. Her final smile was for him.
Stay with me, Mom. Everything.
I love.
He rises, eyes darkened by grief. The Tusken camp lies ahead, oblivious. Anakin ignites his lightsaber, hands trembling with fury. But as he steps forward, a voice echoes Qui-Gon's teachings.
Stillness, not vengeance. Compassion, not domination.
For a moment, Anakin falters, but then another voice slithers in. Palpatine's, seductive and cold.
Power can protect what love alone cannot. You have the strength to end all pain.
Before Anakin can decide, a Tusken sentry spots him. A horn bellows. In that flash of fear and rage, the dam breaks. The dark side floods through him like a tidal wave.
Anakin! Anakin!
He takes his mother's body back to Lars and buries her.
I wasn't strong enough to save you, Mom. I wasn't strong enough. But I promise, I won't fail again.
In the quiet of Qui Gon's chambers, Anakin finally breaks. Haunted and hollow, Qui Gon listens without interruption, his calm presence holding the space. The pain in Anakin's voice betrays the truth before the words do. In the hallway, Padme hears it too, and though her heart aches, she says nothing. Qui Gon advises him as usual. Anakin left and saw Padme but didn't talk. Padme went behind him, and he stopped.
When I was holding my mother, watching her die, all I could think of was you. That if I ever lost you too, I don't want to love you in secret. I don't want to wait for peace. I want you with me. Always.
Anakin,
Marry me.
you know what that would mean. You're a Jedi. I'm a senator. We'd live our lives hiding, risking everything.
Then let the galaxy burn. Let the war rage. Let the council strip me of my title if they must. None of it matters if I lose you.
You'd give up everything.
For you, I already have.
Then we do this. Not because we're running, but because we choose each other, no matter what comes.
We'll find a way. We always do.
He and Padme are married in secret beneath the golden sky of Naboo. Only the wind and the stars bear witness, along with C-3PO and R2-D2. Time passes. The Clone Wars stretch across the galaxy, world after world consumed by fire and confusion. Anakin, now secretly married to Padme, grows in skill and stature. As a Jedi general, he leads with brilliance but also recklessness. His victories marked by bold decisions and troubling losses. Qui-Gon remains at his side during many campaigns, guiding him with patience, always urging balance, humility, and compassion. But Anakin's frustration grows. Each mistake haunts him. The Republic falters, and fear creeps into his heart. More and more, Anakin finds solace in Chancellor Palpatine's private council. The older man praises his strength, his uniqueness, the potential the Jedi fear. Qui-Gon notices the change, but says little, only watches, waiting for the moment Anakin must choose. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan leads his own campaigns in the Outer Rim, his path rarely crossing with Anakin's during this stage of the war. He sends reports from distant fronts, Boz Pity, Salukami, Utapau, always sharp, always loyal. Then comes the news. Count Dooku has returned, more dangerous than ever. His ship attacks above Coruscant, capturing the Chancellor himself. The Jedi Council scrambles a response. Qui-Gon, wounded weeks earlier during the Battle of Felucia, is still recovering in the temple. So it is Obi-Wan and Anakin who are sent to infiltrate the Invisible Hand and rescue the Supreme Chancellor.
Sense great fear in you, Skywalker. You have hate, you have anger, but you don't use them.
Good, Anakin, good. Kill him now. Do it.
Later, inside the temple's quiet meditation hall, Anakin finds Qui-Gon alone, seated beneath the soft glow of a holomap. He stands there for a long moment before speaking, his voice low, almost hoarse.
He was unarmed. I killed him. Palpatine told me, do it. And I did. I didn't even question it. It wasn't war. It was an order, and I obeyed. I thought it was justice, but it didn't feel like justice. It felt like something broke in me. Dooku chose the path of darkness. But that does not mean the Jedi must become executioners. You must ask yourself, Anakin, was it the Force that guided you? Or fear?
I don't know anymore. He had no weapon, no defense. I looked in his eyes and I felt hate.
Then you must look inward, not for punishment, but for truth. You are not lost, Anakin, but each step forward must now be chosen with care.
Easy for you to say. You weren't the one standing there. You weren't the one with a choice that wasn't a choice.
I understand more than you think.
No, you don't. You always talk about peace and balance, but people die while we wait for balance. Dooku would have killed us both if I hadn't stopped him. You call it hate. I call it survival.
Survival bought with rage is never victory, Anakin.
Maybe you're the one who doesn't understand what war does to people.
War doesn't excuse who we become in its shadow. Especially not you.
Anakin's jaw clenches. He turns sharply and storms away. Qui Gon watches him go, his face steady, but burdened with a growing fear he does not dare voice aloud. Palpatine's voice still echoes in his mind. In the dead of night, Anakin wakes breathless, skin damp, his heart pounding. He's seen it again. Padme screaming, fading, dying in childbirth. The next morning, he tells her in a whisper, his voice trembling as he describes the dream. Padme gently takes his face in her hands, assuring him it's just fear, not fate, that she's strong, healthy, and won't leave him. For a moment, her warmth soothes him, but the shadow in his heart doesn't fade. Later, Anakin stood alone in the dim-lit corridor of the Chancellor's private office, Coruscant's towers gleaming outside the tall windows, but his gaze was distant, trapped somewhere between the stars and the sand. The soft chime of the door preceded the Chancellor's quiet arrival.
I thought you might come. You've done a great service to the Republic. Count Dooku's death will be remembered as a turning point in this war.
I killed him. He was unarmed. Master Qui-Gon wouldn't...
Qui-Gon's mercy would have gotten you both killed. Sometimes mercy becomes treason to peace. I remember when you came to me, after your mother, the grief in your eyes.
That grief hasn't gone anywhere.
Nor should it. Grief is love unfulfilled. I was sorry for what you endured. I still am. But I also meant what I said. You survived. Stronger, wiser, more capable.
I wasn't strong. I broke.
You didn't break. You awakened. You held your dying mother. You know what it is to love helplessly, to lose what matters most and still be told by Jedi teachings that it is peaceful. Tell me, Anakin, was it peaceful?
No.
No. It was agony. Real. Honest. And that is truth. The Jedi teach you to turn away from the truth if it is painful.
They teach us to let go.
They teach you to submit. Tell me, has Qui-Gon ever asked you what you want?
He trusts me. More than the Council does.
I'm sure he does. But trust is a leash if you're never shown the road ahead. They trust you to remain within the lines they've drawn. You loved your mother. You still love. But love without power is just hope. Wasted and helpless.
Master Qui-Gon says power without clarity is what leads us to ruin.
Clarity? Do not mistake restraint for virtue, my boy. A blade unused rusts. You, Anakin, you are not meant to rust in stillness. You are meant to decide fate, not beg for kindness. The power to prevent death, to protect love, to shape destiny. That power exists, just not along the path the Jedi have built for you.
Then where?
There is a legend. A Sith legend. Darth Plagueis, the Wise. Have you heard of him?
No.
I thought not. It's not a story the Jedi would tell you, or your master. They fear it, Plagueis had such knowledge of the dark side, he could use the Force to influence the midichlorians to create life. More than that, he could stop the ones he loved from dying.
He could actually save people?
From death itself.
What happened to him?
He taught his apprentice everything he knew. Then his apprentice killed him in his sleep. Irony. He could save others from death, but not himself. You see, Anakin, the Jedi want you to let go of what you fear to lose. Qui Gon wants you to. But I would never ask that of you.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I see what you could become, and I want you to be ready. When others are not, when the time comes, you'll know where to look.
Palpatine steps past him, placing a hand on the young Jedi's shoulder with a father's calm. Anakin walks towards the exit. He turns to see Palpatine, and then leaves. Palpatine stands there smiling, gazing out the transparisteel window. The Jedi Temple gardens. The air is still, unnaturally quiet, save for the sharp, erratic footsteps of Anakin Skywalker. He paces like a man caged. Qui-Gon Jinn stands near the edge of the reflecting pool, hands clasped behind his back. The water shimmers like glass, untouched by the chaos rising in Anakin's heart.
You've been absent from meditation and council sessions. Your thoughts clouded. Speak to me, Anakin. What troubles you? You already know what troubles me. You feel everything. Don't pretend this is a concern. It's a judgment in disguise. That's not fair. I've never judged you. No. You just watch. You all watch as the galaxy burns. As people suffer. As Padme lies awake, afraid every night of what the war will take next. And you do nothing. The Jedi are peacekeepers, not soldiers, Anakin. And what good is peacekeeping when it means standing still while everything falls apart? The Jedi speak of balance, but they only care about control. They tell me to let go of fear, attachment, love. You all look at emotions like poison, but they're the only thing that ever made me strong. You've been speaking to him again. Shouldn't I? He listens. You don't. None of you do. What did he say, Anakin? The truth. About you. About the Council. About how afraid you all are of anyone with real strength. Real strength. What else did he say? That the Jedi betrayed Dooku. That they would betray me too, if I became inconvenient. That you'd turn on me, the way you turned on him. Dooku turned on us. He abandoned the Jedi and used war to spread fear. And maybe he had a point. Maybe the Jedi are the problem. Maybe they're why nothing ever changes. Anakin, please, tell me everything. Not in anger, not to wound, just truth. Whatever he said, whatever he offered, I need to know. He told me everything. Everything I need to know. To save Padme. Things that you can't teach me. No Jedi can. But I will learn. A Sith legend. He said the Jedi feared that kind of knowledge. Feared what it could mean. That it was hidden from us. From me. What if there's another way, Master? What if we've been looking in the wrong places? What if the Jedi have blinded me? What if you have blinded me? And what did he promise you? He said, when the time comes, we'll talk more. Stay here. What? You said this came from him. I believe you. And now I have to look him in the eye. Master, wait. Stay here, Anakin.
Palpatine sits at his desk, still, regal, expectant. The door hisses open. Qui-Gon Jinn enters without announcement, his robe soaked from the storm. His presence not one of protocol. It was purpose. Palpatine looks up, slowly rising.
Master Jinn, what an unexpected visit. To what do I owe the honor?
I've come to speak about Anakin Skywalker. What things are you filling his mind with?
The boy in pain often needs perspective. I offered only that. Nothing more.
Perspective? You filled his ears with a Sith legend, the illusion of power over death. You gave a grieving boy a fantasy and called it truth.
I gave him hope, Master Jin. Something your very council never offered.
Dooku, he tried to warn me, but I was so blind. Tell me, a Sith legend, not even a single Jedi knows, yet you do. You're not just manipulating him, you're turning him against us.
Clever, Master Jin. I must admire your ways of observing. But if the boy wants to learn, how can I refuse?
What are you?
I am what your order fears most. Not a shadow in the dark, but the darkness that walks in plain sight. Who better to guide the chosen one than the one who shaped the fall you refuse to see?
So it's true. You are the Sith Lord.
I am what the Republic made me, what the Jedi feared into existence. You see it now, don't you? Their blindness, their chains, and your precious chosen one slipping through your fingers.
I see a boy caught in your trap, and I will not let you take him.
Then I can't let you leave.
A snap hiss ignited in the dark. Red lights spilled across the Chancellor's private office. Palpatine stood revealed, blade drawn, eyes burning with hatred. Qui-Gon's saber flared green in response, but he was slower, older. His strikes met Palpatine's with focus, but the Sith's speed and cruelty overwhelmed him. Sparks rained as Palpatine drove him back through the office. Furniture shattered. Glass cracked. The cityscape beyond flickered with stormlight.
You were always the threat. The Jedi who questioned. The Jedi who saw, that made you dangerous, Master Jin.
And your fear makes you reckless.
They clashed again, but Qui-Gon's footing faltered. A kick to the chest sent him crashing back. His saber flew from his hand. Palpatine lunged, blade raised for the kill. The door burst open. Anakin stood in the entrance, eyes wide.
Master?
He's a traitor, Anakin. He's trying to kill me.
No, Anakin. He's the Sith Lord. You must listen.
Palpatine turned, blade driving toward Qui-Gon's heart, and Anakin moved. In a single breath, he hurled his lightsaber across the room. It spun end over end, like a comet, and struck Palpatine's blade aside. Sparks exploded. The red blade missed its mark. Qui-Gon rolled, snatching his own saber with the Force and raising in a single fluid motion. He turned, facing Anakin. They locked eyes, something unspoken passing between them.
I was blind. I couldn't see past my fear. I'm sorry, Master. For everything. I never stopped believing in you, Anakin. Not for a moment.
You were mine, boy. I shaped you, molded your pain, your power. You owe everything to me.
I owe you nothing.
Pity. Then die with him.
Palpatine's fury ignites into a rage. He lifts his saber with a hiss of hatred. Qui-Gon lifts his saber again, shoulder singed, legs trembling but steady.
No, Sidious. This is where your lies end.
Palpatine lunges. The air screams with the speed of his assault, but this time he's not facing one. He's facing two. Anakin and Qui-Gon move as one, blades spinning, sparks flying in every direction. Palpatine is faster, angrier, but no longer in control. Every strike he lands is countered. Every feint is predicted.
Fools, you think striking me down will end this? I am the dark side. I am forever.
Then forever ends now. The Force doesn't serve power. It restores balance, and balance begins now.
Their blades cross, one green, one blue, and they drive forward together. Palpatine staggers, overwhelmed. He parries one, only to be struck by the other. The Force cracks the floor beneath them. The red of his saber dims, flickering, and then comes the final strike. Anakin and Qui-Gon, united in will and motion, cut through Palpatine's guard. Twin blades drive into his chest. His face contorts, not just in pain, but in disbelief.
I saw it. I saw everything.
So did we.
Palpatine collapses. Smoke coils from his robes. The shadow recoils. Anakin breathes hard, saber still humming. Qui-Gon watches him, wary, then proud.
I'm glad you chose the light, Anakin. Not in time to save everything, but in time to save yourself.
The skies over Coruscant are quiet now, only the hum of rebuilding. In the Grand Senate Chamber, an emergency session is held, with a unanimous vote. Bail Organa has been elected acting chancellor until full elections can restore the Republic's course. In the Jedi Temple, sunlight pours through the windows. As a new council gathers, not of hierarchy, but of unity, Mace Windu stands beside Yoda. Padme watches from the gallery, hand pressed gently to her stomach, a quiet promise between them, unspoken but understood. Qui Gon steps forward.
The Force is balance, not control, not fear. If we are to endure, we must listen and let go of what we were.
Anakin's gaze meets his. He is grateful and steady. Outside, the statue of Palpatine is dismantled, stone by stone. A child points upward as Republic ships pass in formation. No longer weapons of war, but symbols of peace. The darkness has come, but it did not win. And in a galaxy far, far away, the Force stirs with a new possibility. A future rewritten. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you'd like to join us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.